I won't be long. I'll just hand over the floor to Mr. Chong Lee Kong Wing, our group chairman for the SBM Holdings.
Thank you. We don't have a mic, so you are sure that I can be heard all over the place. Yeah. Well, Mr. Andre Lam, Chairman of SBM Education Fund, Mr. Jairaj Sunu, Chief Executive of Bank, SBM Bank Mauritius, Trustees of the SBM Education Fund, beneficiaries of previous editions of the SBM Scholarship Scheme who are present here. Beneficiaries? We have three of them. Three of them here, right? Right, okay. Distinguished guests, friends of the media, colleagues from SBM. Good afternoon. So we are pleased to welcome you today for the launch of the SBM Scholarship Scheme for bright and needy students. This is the 6th edition, and this scheme started since 2010. Education and empowerment are a must to improve the quality of a country's labor force. It also contributes to the development of a nation, and more importantly, it is an effective way to break the vicious circle of poverty. I don't want to go to, it's not that the speech is not well written, very well written, but it is very informal and very dry. But to talk about scholarship, I'm very well placed to talk about it. Because I was a laureate of the Royal College of Bourses, and I could not imagine what I would have become if I had not won that scholarship. In those days, and still today, those who are in very unfavorable economic conditions had no opportunity and no chance whatsoever if they happen to pass the HSC and they have no means to go to do their education studies, university studies. Fortunately, in those days, the French government and the Indian government gave some scholarships. So that's why a lot of people who we find now at the top civil service and in top organizations are all students of HSC who, after having done their secondary education, were granted scholarship by the English, under the English scholarship, the rural scheme, or under the French and Indian government scholarship scheme. As you know, with all the changes taking place globally, the advanced countries, France, England and others have cut down their budget for financing foreign students to come to their country. On the contrary, they are depending on foreign students to finance their university, their universities, because they are dry of budgetary funds from the UK government. So they are looking for foreign students to replenish and fund their resources. In France also, although it was not so drastic, because French have a cultural expansion scheme, but the scholarship is mainly for the tuition at French universities. So you have to pay for your accommodation, but the tuition is free. But at least people are able to go and do their university degrees in foreign countries. Had it not been for that, what would have come out of these people? Can you imagine? Myself, if I have not won a scholarship to go overseas and do my university studies, I had no choice. I would have to compete very fiercely and openly to get the very few places available in top British firms. And what are the top British firms in those days? Andre will vouch for it. Mercantile Bank, which is now the HSBC, Barclays Bank, BAT, and cable and wireless. There were only 4 international firms that had an open recruitment policy based on merit. Now, if you can't get into these these private foreign firms, you're dead. Why? Because either you have to go into the lowest rung of a ladder in government, and even in those days, government was not recruiting, because government was more interested to recruit relief workers. And if you go to a private sector, where can you get a job? You tell me? Where could you get a job in those days in the private sector? Only in sugar estates or sugar-related companies. And you think it's easy for poor students to get a job in these places? I always joke with people who know me that in those days, there were 2 institutions that were open for recruitment. Right? MCB, and they take all the Formcat fill from Saint-Esprit and Saint-Joseph. It's not a joke. All those who can speak good French, Formcat will get a job in MCB. And those who have a good senior, with luck they can get into SCB. Right? So that's the pool that was going for jobs in the job market in those days. But now the competition is even more fierce, and therefore scholarship schemes are even more important. And I'm glad that today I'm here chairing, hosting this launch of a scholarship scheme of SBM, because this is the key to social mobility. This scholarship which invests in education, and this education is going to empower the poor and needy students, but who are bright, but who have potential, who have inherent intellectual capabilities. So they are given the chance at least through this scholarship to go and do their education studies, and therefore get a better set of skills to fight in the competitive world of work. So I am very happy, therefore, to be chairing this SBM group, who, it is said, is the largest provider of scholarships in Mauritius. This is very comforting to know. But SBM has played its role in social empowerment, and by positioning itself not as the best banker. I know Mr. Sunu has been collecting awards all over the place. It's good to be the best banker. It is good to be the best banker of Africa or whatever, as we had some ministers collecting awards, best minister of Africa and whatnot. This is good for the show, but where you impact on people in their daily lives and in their innermost capabilities is education. So I am very glad to be associated with SBM, who is the largest provider of scholarships in Mauritius. I'm very proud of this achievement, and even more proud because more than 75% of the beneficiaries of this SBM scholarship schemes have completed their university studies, and we have 3 prime examples here in the front row. And more than 75% of these beneficiaries have now got a job and are now working. I don't know where, but at least we are getting a job. And this is not, it's only the beginning. It's not the end. It's only the beginning. We've got a good education, we've got a job. Now there is a lifelong education to go on and career development ahead, and therefore we know that the door, the passport to success is now in your hands. So we are happy that the beneficiaries of the scholarship are now also revenue earners, because this is what is plaguing most economies in the developed world as well as in the developing countries. Why? It is because of a widening gap between the rich and the poor. The only way you can reduce that gap is through education, investment in education, training, earning revenue, upgrading your skills, acquiring more skills and getting more value-added jobs, and therefore, through this, reducing the gap between the very rich, what we call the 1%, very rich, and the 99% who are stuck in, we can say, relative poverty. So the main focus will remain education and empowerment, and SBM is therefore an important player in this CSR initiative. We have also at SBM collaborated with the Ministry of Social Security and National Solidarity, which is represented by 2 officers here, for launching the first edition of what is called the Social Entrepreneurship Award, which is a new concept whereby an NGO becomes financially sustainable and at the same time continue to empower its beneficiaries. So we are very happy to be associated with the Minister of Social Security in this new award called the Social Entrepreneurship Award. We have also financed the 3rd edition of a Global Rainbow Foundation, whereby 130 artificial limbs have been offered to amputees, thus giving them back their mobility and independence. We are also associated with the Ghanaian Basic School, which is a school for low achievers, and we have financed a multimedia room, a library, a fashion and design class, as well as a hydroponics project. The new infrastructure will enable students to learn in a more conducive environment and help them to acquire new skills. And at SBM, we are also providing a daily meal to these students. And this has helped tremendously to increase the attendance of these students and the participation of parents. So today, we are launching the 6th edition of SBM Scholarship Scheme for the bright and needy students, and we are therefore officially inviting applications from students who would like to be considered for this award. So we make an appeal to all students to make the applications. And I am also pleased to announce that we shall be providing 400 scholarships in these 215 editions. 400 scholarships, half of which, 200, is for university courses, and the remaining 200 is for vocational courses at MITT. So 400 scholarships in this edition, for which Mr. André Nam will give you further details. So I would like here to end by making a special appeal, especially to disabled students, autrement capables, so that they apply for this scholarship scheme, because this is a unique opportunity for them to avail of a scholarship for university studies. So I will end on this quote from Barack Obama. He said this: "We have an obligation and a responsibility to be investing in our students and our schools. We must make sure that people who have grades, the desire and the will, but not the money, can still get the best education possible." This is from Barack Obama. With this, Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention and for being here with us today.
Bon après-midi. Nous sommes réunis cet après-midi, effectivement, pour lancer la 6e édition de la SBM Scholarship Scheme pour les étudiants brillants et nécessités. Comme guide d'introduction, je voudrais souligner le passage suivant que j'ai trouvé très approprié. Durant une récente réunion de refocusing des dossiers économiques, le gouvernement a émis devant un parterre public-privé ce Prime Minister's Mission Statement. Sarnevut a déclaré que we want the elite to grow in numbers, and at the same time we want to ensure that all our children are adequately empowered in terms of education and training to help the nation attain new heights in socio-economic development. That is the reason why we are focusing on reforms of the education and training sector, while at the same time implementing new support programs for students from low-income families. The World Bank also said that the key in making Mauritius a successful, inclusive, high-income economy lies in improving its education system. Bon, nous nous réjouissons de voir que ce que nous avons entrepris depuis la création de ce projet de bourse d'études, ce projet rejoint beaucoup la politique économique du gouvernement. Effectivement, depuis le lancement de ce scholarship scheme en 2010, nous avons accordé 1400 bourses d'études aux étudiants brillants et nécessités, incluant les 33 qui sont de Rodrigue et les non moins autrement qu'après. Quand nous avons lancé en 2010, la première édition, nous avons alloué 57 bourses. 4 ans plus tard, en 2014, nous avons atteint le chiffre de 400 bénéficiaires. Et nous comptons augmenter ce nombre davantage dans les années à venir. Je crois qu'il est bon de rappeler que si nous avons pu accorder autant de bourses, derrière tout ça, il y a un financement. Et au tout début, quand nous avons eu le portefeuille, le financement pour ça, on s'est dit qu'on va garder l'argent à Maurice. C'est-à-dire, au lieu de dépenser sur une bourse à l'étranger qui va coûter peut-être 1 million par étudiant par an, on s'est dit non. Le Knowledge Hub de Maurice est bien capable de donner the very broad-based education, the tertiary education, aux étudiants méritants qui ont terminé le HSC à Maurice. Ce faisant, nous avons économisé dans l'exode de nos capitaux. Et puis, naturellement, avec un portefeuille de 50 millions, nous avons naturellement l'ambition justement de donner, autant que peut se faire, le plus grand nombre de jeunes, surtout ceux qui sont dans la pauvreté précaire, de pouvoir réussir quand même dans la vie. Aujourd'hui, on ne peut pas se permettre de laisser nos enfants sur la touche. Donc, comme M. le Commis l'a mentionné, nous invitons donc les étudiants ayant terminé le HSC de faire acte de candidature à notre scholarship scheme. Et surtout ceux qui vont chercher l'admission dans le tertiary education level, à l'université principalement. Ce sont donc des institutions tertiaires qui sont reconnues par le TEC. Et puis aussi ceux qui vont, on n'a pas seulement encouragé le côté académique, mais aussi le côté technique. C'est-à-dire ceux qui vont demander des places dans le Bourses Institute of Training and Development. nous voudrons faire savoir que notre bourse coûte environ... non, c'est pour les familles dont le salaire ne dépasse pas 15 000 roupies par mois. C'est pour vous dire quel est le target family group. Et non seulement pour ceux qui touchent moins de 15 000, nous comptons aussi viser le household income group de 6 200 euros. C'est pour vous dire un peu, on est en train de revoir un peu notre politique dans le family group. Mais les candidats qui vont faire la demande de bourse doivent satisfaire certains critères. Ils doivent être de be citizens and residents of the Republic of Mauritius, meet the minimum entry requirements of the course, for example, a good HSC or equivalent for degree courses, and come from a family whose household income does not exceed 15,000 monthly, and not be children of the SBM employees, not having benefited from any other scholarship for the same course or program. Naturally, not over 25 years old. Les étudiants de Rodrigue et ceux qui sont autrement capables qui sont éligibles pour ces scholarship schemes, nous voudrions quand même les encourager, non pas parce que non seulement ils viennent de loin, mais aussi pour qu'ils puissent aussi rejoindre quand même la politique d'augmenter le niveau d'éducation en Mauricie. Naturellement, ils peuvent faire l'application à travers le SBM website et ils peuvent demander aussi des questions à travers le mail. La date, le closing date pour la soumission de l'application, c'est le 14 août 2015. Pour ceux qui vont faire des études tertiaires, universitaires, à Maurice. Et pour les vocational courses, la date est le 28 août 2015. Donc, we look forward to providing our support to the students. Mesdames et messieurs, merci de votre attention.
Et à m'encourager. Actuellement, je suis en stage en entreprise et cela a financièrement aidé mes parents, premièrement, et moi aussi pour mon avenir. Alors moi, j'encouragerais les jeunes qui sont dans les difficultés, qui veulent progresser dans leur avenir pour donner leur application. Merci.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please receive my warm greeting. As Mr. Kumal Gajador has said, I am an English educator working at Modern College, which is found at FLAC. Well, in 2010, I was struck by financial limitations, and it was at that time that the SBM launched its first scholarship for bright and needy students. After application, I was selected among one of the 57 recipients of the scholarship. My efforts were rekindled because I knew that my well-wishers were investing a lot to shape my future. After 3 years of intense struggle and hardship, I graduated at the University of Mauritius with a first-class honours in the English language. I want to thank the SBM for giving me this opportunity to pursue my tertiary studies. I am now working as an English teacher at Modern College, working with students to encourage them to unleash their potential and to achieve their educational dreams. I am here to extend my gratitude to the SBM for launching this special scheme, and I want to encourage other students like me to apply for this scholarship because it's going to help them achieve something in life. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Wish you a very good afternoon. I'm Dilan Sinchong, presently employed with SBM Bank Operations Limited. And first and foremost, I have a great honor to contribute thanks to SBM for scholarship in 2010. It indeed has been greatly to be a graduate in management at University of Mauritius. In 2010, I have the intellectual resources, but not the required financial resources to complete my BSc. And I was in the line, as I said earlier, with my result. And SBM provided me with a scholarship, and I successfully completed my BSc Honors in Management. Indeed, this is a very good effort by SBM, and also a motivator and for me to complete my graduate degree. And SBM has been here since years, providing financial aid to bright and needy students. And I think parents and students has been certainly proud to have such financial institution and providing financial help to bright and needy students. And also a special thanks to SBM management team to promote such a corporate social responsibility project, and that is indirectly empowering our rising stars of future generation. Thank you.